Hey everyone! Thank you so much for your patience as I fought through the technical difficulties today and got to you. My name is Allie, and I'm really excited to kick off this call with y'all. So, again, thank you so much for your patience. And trust me, we're going to use this call to help in getting your time back. Munch Studio was designed to do exactly that, especially if you are a business owner or someone that's trying to grow your own social media presence. Sometimes there can be so many different plates spinning at one time. That's exactly why today we're going to be talking about how you can take one idea and we can turn that into multiple different uses, multiple different pieces of content. So that way we're always staying relevant, we're always staying consistent, right? How many of us have heard that consistency wins when it comes to social media? But that can be so hard when we feel like every day and every time we go on social media, we're starting from a blank page. We're starting from square one. So in this session today, I'm going to be sharing screen with you and we're going to walk through Munch Studio together. I'll point out some really neat features that are going to help you in taking one idea into multiple pieces of content. Now, the best way to get the most out of this session together today is to pull up Munch Studio. I'm sharing screen, so you should too. Let's walk side by side in this together since we're live. Now, the other benefit of us being live together, not the technical difficulties, of course, but it is the fact that you have a Q&A button. Now, that Q&A button allows you to ask questions throughout this time together today. And then at the very end, I'll come through, answer as many questions as I can, and even do some demos to help with any of your specific questions. So again, make sure you have Munch Studio up. You can go to munchstudio.com. And if you're brand new to Munch Studio, you can take a free trial so that we can still walk through things with me. Now, if you are brand new, you'll just type in your website URL, and Munch Studio is automatically going to be populating ready to go content for you. Okay, without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll walk through this together. Now, there's a few different ways that I want to show you how you can kind of take an idea or use an old existing idea to help you in making more content, right? If you're someone who's been in the business world for a while, chances are you might have videos, you might have written content, like it's all out there. Now that you're adopting social media in that the importance of social media has become so relevant, now it's time to kind of use some of those and pour it into short, bite-sized, munch-down pieces of content. So I'm starting here from our homepage, but we're going to be jumping into the Explore page, fresh ideas, and I also want to show you your brand settings as well too. So those are going to be the main areas that we'll hit, and I'll go quickly through this just to kind of catch us up on time and make sure that we still have time at the very end for Q&As. All right, so let's jump into, we'll walk through projects first. But let's show you Fresh Ideas. Fresh Ideas is a new feature. This is why I wanted to highlight it. And what's really cool is that Munch Studio is automatically going to be producing new ideas and things for you to talk about based on the problem that you solve and the business that you're in. So again, this is us not having to start from the blank page. Let's use this one for example since it's new. We can click on View Script here. And you can see that in this example, it's recommending that I talk about 3 weeknight nutrition wins for busy parents. I love that. And then it's breaking down the equipment, the duration, the platform that it's going to be best for. Now, in this example here, I'm using an account called Hiya Health. It specializes in health and nutrition for kids, and it sells a nutrition like a vitamin supplement for kiddos. So this here is very relevant, and that's why it's giving me that idea. So you'll see that it's also given us the direct script. And it's also giving us some cues about how we can be filming this. It's taking what's working best on social media now and prompting you on how you can create that content. So what to do now? Start in the kitchen, mid-motion, one hand stirring or chopping, phone propped up on the counter at eye level, look at the camera, just like you just remembered something worth sharing. And then here's our script. In fact, you can even put this into prompter mode where you're just looking at the script here, which makes it a little bit easier as you're filming that content. Then you can select I filmed it, you can upload that content, and Munch Studio is going to help you in editing that and getting it ready to go live. In fact, you can schedule that content to go live directly inside of this app. But let's say we want to take this idea that Munch Studio has provided for us, 3 weeknight nutrition wins for busy parents. So let's view the script and see what those 3 wins are. Okay. When 5 p.m. hits and everyone's melting down, I'm pulling a container of, uh, I'm I'm pulling a ready container instead of making a decision. Okay, so kind of prepping in advance, having snacks as they run out the door. And the third, right before we leave, vitamins. Now we're talking about the product. I keep a high bottle on the counter where we can all see it. Out of sight means forgotten. Okay, so leaving that on the counter. So we can take these really great tips, or if we have our own, we can jump into the Explore page here and we can request that specific content to be made. So let's take a look at what is automatically created for us because I think this is really neat. If you're someone that's like, I actually want to be pretty hands off and just have a machine where this content can run without me actually having to really dip myself into it or spend very much of my time in it, you can choose any of these posts here and schedule them to go live. They're designed to be ready, made, and posting. Now, if you ever want new content, you could see it kind of came to an end there. You can click on Add Content and then click Quick Post. It's going to regenerate new ideas. So if you don't have an idea, if you didn't have that fresh idea concept in your head that you wanted to generate content with, you can go ahead and select Quick Post, and again, those be automatically generated for you. Now, the other option and what I want to share with you is that if we are using, the three tips to make weeknights easier, we can select tailor posts to your vision, and we can actually write a little prompt here about the content that we would like to see, about what that topic looks like. Then every piece of content that Munch Studio creates, it's going to be filtering through this lens that you've provided. That way the content is a little bit more specific here. Now, if you want more ideas on what you could type in here, you can click on Inspire Me, and it will give you different selections again, so you're not starting from scratch, or you can take a look at some prompt examples to help in getting your gears turning as well. Now, let's go ahead and just choose some of these because I want to show you once you found the content that you really want to be posting, how to get that to go live. So I think this one's adorable, right? And it's 3 fun tips for sustainable meals, right? So it's kind of matching that 3 tone that we talked about earlier. So let's press play because you can see this one's a reel. It's adding in that video element that we know is really popular online and really helps to get attention and gets people to stay on this. Now we have the option here to edit this post down further. So if we want to change any of what these tips are, if we want to change the video in the background, if we want to add something extra on the screen, the font, the size, all of it, it's completely customizable, and you can do that by selecting Edit. But let's say that we're ready to share this one. We can go ahead and select the Share button. Now, you'll choose what account you want this to be posted to. It's a video, so you're able to post on more things. But really, this one here was designed to be an Instagram reel, so I'll leave it at that. You'll also see that my account isn't connected, so this won't actually go live. But I'll walk you through at the very end too how you can make sure that your account is connected. If your account is not connected, you may fall in love with this piece of content and schedule it, but it's not possible. It doesn't really have anywhere to go and live after this unless your account is connected. Okay, so what I love here is that the description or the caption has already been written for us. And I love that it's incredibly value packed too. It's reiterating these great points that were in that video. And we can jump in here, we can make any changes to this. But if we are ready to post, we can go ahead and schedule that to go live. Let me choose LinkedIn real quick just because this one will let me. So we can choose to post it now, or we can choose a specific time we'd like that to go out. We're going to give you some default options here that match your content calendar, or you can toggle this off and select a time that's custom and specific to what you'd like to see. Let's say Thursday at 11. Then we'll go ahead and schedule that for Thursday at 11. It's automatically brought us over here to our content planner. This is where you'll see there's a lot of different gaps in our calendar of where it's suggesting that we post content. This almost holds us accountable, right? It paints that roadmap for us of what we should be posting or how often we can be posting. Now, you don't have to fill in every single gap in this schedule. And in fact, if this doesn't fit your goals, you can jump into your content strategy right here and edit that. Remove any dates, add different goals, and you can match the date of the week with the time as well too, and the platform. So I'll go ahead and discard any edits here, just because that was an example, but I quickly do want to show you how you can fill in this content calendar really quickly. So you can jump in, let's say Instagram stories, we have a time slot, and you'll see content automatically generated for you. Now, since this is a story, I'm looking for an icon here that says story. That's going to be the content that's most relevant, right? Like this here, versus posting a reel or a carousel, for example. Once I find one that I like, I can choose it and choose it to go live. So let me go ahead and delete this one just to clear our schedule and kind of start from scratch here. And the other thing that I wanted to point out for you is your brand settings. Now, your brand settings here, we talked about a filter a little bit earlier when creating those specific posts. Um, that kind of puts you in the driver's seat. Well, this is another way to kind of filter posts and make sure that they're more in touch with the outcome that you're looking for. So, for example, if I wanted to showcase vegetables more than I want to showcase fruit, if my brand is like anti-sugar, anti-natural sugar, I can type that in, and then the content that's going to be generated is going to be more geared towards vegetables than it would be for fruit. This is a kids brand. But if you were a brand that serves adults from 60 to 75 years old, you could put that context right here. And then your content is going to be a lot different from what you're seeing here. This is not a one size fits all. And in fact, what you're seeing on your side inside of your Munch Studio account probably looks a lot different than mine. The one size fits all is that it's using this as the filter and is able to work for everyone. Okay, now as promised, I wanted to walk through the integrations really quickly since my account wasn't connected. You could see it was kind of getting that error message. So I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you when you jump inside of Munch Studio. Now, from inside of integrations, you'll see this little eye icon where I filmed a video for you that you can tap into at any time after this. It's going to walk you through how to connect your accounts, especially Meta, anything that's Instagram, Facebook. You have to have a Facebook page in order to get it connected. I go further into that in this video, so I won't spend too much time there. Other than showing you, this is where you can integrate all of your accounts. Whether you have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or TikTok, you're able to connect those here so you can schedule and choose content for each and every one of those platforms. Or start with one, master one, and continue to move on. Now, again, you'll go ahead and select connect, and then from there, it'll give you prompts to get connected. We also have these guides across the two Meta platforms too to help in giving further context around how to create that Facebook page, how to connect it. All right, the last thing that I want to walk you through, and then I will turn to the chat. So if you haven't asked your questions yet, please jump into the Q&A box and let me know any questions that you'd like to be covered on this call. Now, let me go ahead and close this little walkthrough, but I do want to show you how we can take that existing idea and repurpose it. So there's a new feature inside of Munch Studio that helps you to create posts from a blog. So if you're someone who has a website that has a blog, this is for you. If your website does not have a blog, you won't see this button. Now, once you first get into Munch Studio, so if you're like, you signed up at the very beginning of this call, you probably don't see this button, even if you do have blogs. This can sometimes take between 10 to 20 minutes to start to populate. Munch Studio is basically scraping your website to take that content and to plug it in here so you can use this feature in the future. So again, if you don't see it now, don't panic. Give it about 10, 20 minutes, and then you should see that populate. Okay, so I do want to demo this though for anyone who does have a blog or plans on having one in the future. You can choose to create a post from a blog. Now, let's say that I wanted to use this blog here. Are gummy vitamins bad for you? We'll go ahead and select this one to use. Again, that's another concept, right? We have a blog written on it. So I could jump into my Explore page and request content specific to, are gummy vitamins bad for you? So let's say that I want to rock with Instagram again. We're choosing the platform and we're choosing our favorite designs here. So let's say I like this one, And let's go with this one. Okay, so this is what we would like to see our content look like. So choose the ones you love. Give your project a name. We'll stick with that one. And you're choosing different elements that are going to help in tailoring this, like your post goal, the tone of your post, and if there's any extra media that you would like to be added in. Now, I have this toggled on because these blogs don't specifically have pictures on Haya Health. So that's why it's not pulling these photos in, but I want mine to have photos, right? And I want Munch to choose those for me. If you have a blog with photos, those will be grabbed as well when it scrubs it and be available for you here. But let's go ahead and Munch this and see the results. Okay, this will take just a couple of minutes and then we'll take a look at that together. So let me go ahead and stop sharing screen. I'll take a look at the Q&A box and then we'll come right back to this. All right, will the recording be available post-call? Unfortunately, I did not join on time. My friend, neither did I. But yes, this will be recorded and sent to you afterwards. So great question. And Cheryl, I did see that you have your hand raised, but it would be best if you don't mind just putting your question into the Q&A. You should see that at the very bottom of your Zoom screen. There will be a little Q&A box for you. Ah, you jumped right in, sharing that context that you're in the med spa business. I'll wait to hear the rest of your question in just a moment. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and take a look at Munch Studio to see if that post is ready. Looks like it's still processing, has a couple minutes left. Okay. Cheryl said, I noticed that the videos are rather generic. Could I possibly change it? That's a great question. And let me go ahead and share screen just for anyone who hasn't played around with our video feature yet. So in the Explore page, you saw that there were some videos like this one right here that I said, oh, this is cool. I think I'd love to use this. This is a stock video, meaning that you don't have to supply the video at all. Munch Studio is going to go out, find videos that are relevant to your niche, and then add them in here. So you don't necessarily have the control I mean, you could jump into your brand settings and say nothing generic, but again, these are all going to be stock videos that have a little bit more of that generic feel to them because, again, they're royalty free, which is fun because that means you get to use them. But again, it's not as specific. If there is a specific video project that you would like, you can add that in here by adding content and then tailor post to your vision. Another way to go about this is to jump into your media library. And you'll see like this is kind of the behind the scenes look at the different content that's been grabbed for you and ready for you to use. So from here, if there's something in specific, you're like, I keep seeing this image and I don't want to see it, you can turn off the usage for it. And then the other thing that you can do that I mean, it's going to be better than anything else is to add in your own media. So if there's a video that you filmed or a video that you have or something that you found that maybe is stock footage that you want inside of Munch Studio so it can start to use it, you can select add media here and it's going to allow you to download anything from your computer. So Cheryl, I hope that that helped to answer your question on how you can. Yes. Okay, I can add my own media. Perfect. That's a great reply. Yes, if you have yours, I'd highly recommend using that by adding it here. If you do have videos, like let's say you had a long form video that was maybe an hour long, 5 minutes long, whatever it is, you can also jump into the projects area. This is kind of best for like talking heads, interviews, etc. You'll see I have a lot of them right here. You can select new project and then choose create clips. So basically, you'll be uploading this video either from your computer, you can add a link in if it's from YouTube, or pull it from your Munch Studio library if it's already been uploaded. And then from here, it's going to create those bite-sized pieces of content that's perfect for social. Okay, saw another question come through. How do we get back to the scroll mode to explore potential posts that we had during our initial task versus having to click. Hold on, let me read this one again, Tommy. How do we get back to the scroll mode to explore potential posts that we had during our initial task list versus having to click on each in Explore? So let's go back to the Explore page. If you have more context, Tommy, feel free to add that in here. But I think what you're referencing is kind of how you have this ability to scroll and posts are created for you. This should always be the default mode. If you want to see more, you can click add content and then quick post to have more be generated for you. But it should always be in the scroll format. And then from here, we can even jump in, heart some of our favorite posts, and you can even sort these too. So, for example, we're hearting them. We can jump into saved, and then it will narrow down these posts just to the ones that I've saved or saved previously. Now, if you get off of this kind of scroll mode, I'd highly recommend just jump back to your Explore page, give it a little refresh, and then you do have to click into each one to fully view it and to share. Cheryl asked another great question, then we'll jump back to the blog. So, what metrics should I realistically expect in the first 30 days? So, you can check out your metrics or your insights inside of the Insights tab. Now, you do have to have your account connected. It looks like mine's not right now, as we kind of talked about earlier. Um, but once your account is connected, you'll start to see data inside of your Insights tab. This is really cool because this is going to tell you what works and what doesn't work. Now, Cheryl, every single account is different. So some are starting from zero or have quite a following. So the metrics are really going to look different and unique to everybody. But I will tell you that some of the most important metrics to look after right now is your view count, right? We want to be reaching a broader audience. And it's not in the behavior right now of the user to be liking everything. So if you're not getting a ton of likes on your stuff, don't worry, don't pay attention to that as much versus the views, right? That's what we really want to be increasing. And the engagement overall. When somebody engages in a post, they comment, they share, they save that post, right? It goes so much more beyond just liking. That tells the algorithm, hey, this post is good stuff, and it helps to get it out to more people. Now, we've been seeing at the very bottom that we have our project ready. So let me go ahead and click show. This is bringing us back to that blog that we were looking at earlier. That way we can see the content that's automatically created for us with this same concept. Are gummy vitamins bad for you? Now, this is so cute. But here you can see that it's automatically created, like 6 different posts for us that are ready for us to use. Some of them even a carousel. So let's jump into this one just for example. In carousels, you'll see that there's kind of these dots at the bottom and arrows. This allows you to kind of go through how it will be posted. And of course, any of these you can edit as well further. All right. So again, this isn't just making up information. It's actually pulling the information that's directly inside of this blog. So again, if you have content already that's been posted at his blog, this is a really great way for you to avoid, I'll say it again, starting from scratch and use these ideas and concepts that you've already worked really hard to write. All right, let me go ahead and stop sharing too. Cheryl asked another great question. Can I train the platform on my voice, tone, and past viral videos? Absolutely, Cheryl. So it sounds like you're probably someone that's worked with AI before in the past, and so this will sound familiar to you. Let me show you. When we jump into Munch Studio and we go into our brand settings, this is where we have, I called it a filter earlier, but this is how we're training our AI to create for us. So if you have a certain tone of voice, uh, just like you would prompt your chat GPT or whatever AI you're using, you'll jump right in here and share those same things. So if you say, I have a pointed and direct personality. I don't like fluff, I like information. Avoid emojis, right? Any type of context that uh, like aside from AI that you would even be telling a social media manager. You can jump in here and add that to the business description. In fact, you can do this every single week, as often as you would like, and you should. So this might end up being a very, very, very long paragraph. But again, this is the filter in which it's going to look at before it produces that content. So it's always a great place for you to go. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for your wonderful questions and your engagement. I'll just look through one more time, one more question, and then I'll go ahead and help us to wrap. So Cheryl asked, does your AI optimize differently for TikTok versus Instagram versus Facebook? Absolutely. So like you saw before on that Explore page, the content that's created, let's go back here. The content that's created is going to be taking in account what platform it's posting across. So let me see. Here's a LinkedIn one, for example. And as we know, LinkedIn is like You're providing value, authority, insights, versus Instagram is kind of like quick tips. This is fun to share. It's a little bit more entertaining. So you'll see in this caption here that we're providing a little extra bit of value in this one. So it's coming from a little bit more of like an authoritative platform, or sorry, authoritative voice. Let me see, like this one right here would be another good one to look at. And then it's even providing the hashtags for it too. That's another one. If there's a specific set of hashtags or one hashtag that you want it to use every time, you can add that into your brand settings as well. So it includes that every single time that it goes to post. Now you'll also see that, for example, carousels and reels are really popular with Instagram, so you'll see that there. And then you'll see these like wider filmed videos for Facebook. So yeah, it kind of takes into account the different platforms. And then you'll also notice that it's not automatically generating YouTube or TikTok content. That's because nobody's posting like a stock footage on those platforms, right? That's content that really comes from you. And so the best thing to do is jump into projects, and that's where you're going to be creating content specific to those platforms. All right. Cheryl says, thank you. Love this. Thank you so much. And Cheryl, great questions and have just really appreciated you on this call. It seems like it's perfect timing. So I just wanted to wrap up by saying thank you again, you guys, for your patience, for hanging with us. And I'm really excited about the opportunity that Munch Studio gives you. So again, you're not starting at square one. You're not entering this kind of hiccup or this area that makes you feel stop, or like you're walking through mud when it comes to your social. This helps to get content created for you, ready to post right away. Then you get to choose your involvement. But no matter what it is, you have to be the one to schedule it to go live. So make sure that you're running your Munch Studio, that you're jumping in, you're selecting your favorite posts, and that your social accounts are connected so that way they can actually hit the public. They can go live. Cheryl asked one last question. She said, "Hey, if I have more questions, where do I go?" You can go to support@munchstudio.com. That's going to be our email address. Again, that's support@munchstudio.com. It's a great place to bring any extra questions where we can work a little bit more intimately with you in any questions that you have. Perfect. I'm seeing you're already connected. All right, everyone. Happy posting. I can't wait to see what you create next. Thanks, everyone. See ya. Oh, I saw one last question come through. How many logos can I use? You can upload your logos. That was a false alarm. Goodbye. You can upload your logos inside of your brand settings underneath your identity. I don't know that there's a limit on logos. You can continue to add them here. You can see these are automatically pulled from my website, but if there's something extra that you want to add in here, go ahead and select add logo, and then you can upload those directly from your computer. You can also update your brand font and your brand colors. And again, that tone of voice, you can tailor that a little bit more here. All right. Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.